So for example, from day 1 till like day 7, we are going to first focus on the elicitation techniques. Okay, so
Okay.
elicitation techniques means requirement gathering is called as elicitation.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so for example, like requirement gathering, there are about 50 different techniques, but these are some of the main techniques. So using these techniques, you are going to like gather requirements from the business owners. For example, let's say that you are getting into TCS and you're going for a
Mm.
banking project. Okay,
Okay.
and your client is Bank of America. Okay, and US based project, and your client is Bank of America, and you are in the you're in the offshore team. You're going to like gather requirements, and you don't know how to gather requirements. Okay, just because you
Okay.
cannot directly schedule a call and then you cannot gather requirements, right? So you have to like
Yes.
have some kind of strategy. So brainstorming is one technique, focus group is another technique, interview again is another technique, workshops, SWOT analysis. SWOT means strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. I have made separate videos on this analysis and all, document analysis, prototyping. I have made separate videos, so if you want to watch that in detail, you can watch that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I'll just go through that. Yeah.
correct. So what we are going to do is you have to focus on each topic every day at least like 2 hours.
Okay.
Okay, so 2 hours you have to like do every day. 2 hours is mandatory. Otherwise, you cannot become a BA in 30 days. Okay, so every day. So if it's brainstorming, means you have to take like what is brainstorming, how to do brainstorming, what are the different ways of performing brainstorming session, and as a BA, what are the like how are you going to document it? Whether you're going to record the call or you're going to take notes, or how are you going to like after the session is over, right? How are you going to send up the
Mm.
follow-up notes and all that? Those kind of things also you have to take into account. Okay, it's not that brainstorming means you're getting a call, you're calling like 50 business owners, and then you're just asking them like, let's brainstorm about this project. Then you don't that's not a professional way of
Yeah. Yeah.
documenting things, right? So what you're going to do is
Yes.
like you're going to schedule a call, but how are we going to document those requirements? That's very crucial. So people are coming,
Understood.
they're
Yeah.
giving their own ideas, and if they want to they're random people, they're just coming and then they're giving you idea. Brainstorming means multiple people are coming to your session, but they are not having any kind of single topic, they are just giving their own ideas, right? So after
Okay.
the session is over, you will be like sending a follow up, or you can say meeting notes.
Okay. Mm.
So you need to know how to write meeting notes, how to how
It's kind of minutes of meeting, or is it different from totally?
minutes of meeting is fine, but see, if there, let's say like about 10 people are joining the brainstorming session, okay, and 10 people are
Okay.
giving 10 ideas, you just have to
Okay.
have that kind of what do you call like what people have told in that call, right? You need to know that. So just it
Okay.
can be like follow up reminding notes also.
All right. Okay.
Okay, like this similarly for each technique, so they we have like 7 techniques here, right? So brainstorming means how to schedule brainstorming, how to perform brainstorming. After the session is over, how are we going to send the follow-up notes? Same way for focus group, same way for interview, same way for document analysis. So every single topic you're going to like study every day for 2 hours, and you're going to not only like do theoretically but practically also. So if I'm going to perform an interview, means what are the standard questions I'll be asking the stakeholders? So you need to write down all the questions. So
Okay.
like
Yeah.
this,
Understood.
yeah, like this, everything very detailedly you have to prepare for like every on each topic every day. Then from day 8 till like day 11, it's mostly you're going to focus on documentation. Now I have gathered requirements. Now the second step is like I need to know how to document those requirements. So documentation means, for example, what are the different ways of documenting the requirements? It can be BRDs, it can be FRDs, it can be SRS, it can be anything, right? So however, it can be user
Yeah.
stories. So however they want. a project can be waterfall project, can be hybrid project, can be an agile project. So the expectation is a BA needs to know basic documentation. Basic documentation means needs to how to write a BRD, FRD, SRS document, how to draw all these diagrams, wireframes, prototyping diagrams, and also basically how to write user stories. These are pretty much standards. Without this, they are not going to hire you. 100% nobody is going to hire. If you say like I don't know how to write a BRD, they are never going to hire you. Okay, so you need to practice on how to write a BRD. So just by watching videos, nobody will get that skill. So you take a sample BRD or sample project, maybe simple thing, maybe a login functionality. For login functionality, how do I write a BRD? For a registration functionality, how do I write a BRD? Like simple, like you take case by case, and then you're going to write BRDs, FRDs, and SRS, right? So for the next 3 days, for day 8, 9, and 10, we will be mostly focusing on this documentations. Okay. And wireframes also. So 4 days, every day, you 2 hours, you are going to like focus on documentation. Correct? Because why I'm emphasizing so much on documentation is the interviewer is going to ask you like how what show me. Sometimes they are even some of my candidates have told that can you please show me your actual project documents, can you please remove all the sensitive data, and can you show me the documents. People have requested for actual documents itself, whatever you have created. They want to understand whether you'll be able to document or not. It's a very important skill for a BA, because people don't even know how to give prompt for chat GPT. All these AI tools are there, but do you know how to get data from those AI tools? Okay, if I say like ChatGPT or any AI tool, can you give me a BRD? It's going to give me a very basic template. It's not going to give me with any information. So you have to understand that um, documentation is very crucial for a BA, and you have to develop that skill. Okay, it can be through Word, it can be through Excel, it can be through diagrams, whatever it, however you want to document, you need to know how to document it. So for that, you're going to spend like for 4 days. The next thing is like you need to know how to draw diagrams. So some of the expectation for BA is like drawing diagrams. Okay, so data flow diagrams, flow charts, UML diagrams, and so basically like overall like project flow diagrams. So all technical diagrams also, if you can take a help of architect, and you need to draw the as is to be process diagrams and all that, right? So activity diagrams, sequence diagrams, there are so many types of diagrams that you need to practice. So once you have an idea about what are elicitation techniques, and then what are documentations, what kind of documentation you have to learn and do, then you're going to go into these kind of diagrams. So diagrams are very easy. The tools that you can, I have made a couple of videos on also how to draw diagrams. So the tools that usually I ask people to practice is Gliffy diagrams. And because it's free for 30 days, there is a trial version. So you can install it in Jira and Confluence, and you can actually draw the diagrams. And for wireframes also, you can use there are many tools are there for wireframes, but what I recommend is Balsamiq. So for that also you have 30 days trial version. So you can download that and you can start practicing all these using these tools, and you can add it in your resume too. If they ask you, do you have any kind of experience, you can say Gliffy diagrams and Balsamiq. So this will be very helpful. Next is from day 15 to, to day 20, you're going to focus on all the Scrum techniques. So Scrum methodology and what is waterfall methodology. Waterfall is like pretty much the standard software development life cycle like methodology, where the developer is going to develop, BA is going to do their own work. It's always pretty much standard way, right, of doing it. Before 10 years, 15 years back, we all used waterfall, but now all the Fortune 400 companies have moved into agile methodology. Agile methodology is nothing but we are going by sprints. Sprints means it's either 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks. So in 2 weeks, the developer has to develop the functionality, tester has to test, BA has to do the UAT and everything, and business owners have to complete everything. BA has to complete the demo and everything, and we are doing the sign off in 2 weeks. Okay, so when you join into TCS, like I said earlier, your project is for a US banking, Bank of America, and they follow a 2 week sprint. Means in 2 weeks you take any functionality. It can be login functionality. Let's say like for login functionality means within that 2 weeks the developer has to develop that functionality, and then tester has to test it. You'll be doing coordinating with the business owners, and you'll be doing the UAT testing, and the product has to go live in 2 weeks. That is agile. So you need to know what is basics of agile, what is meant by stand up call. Every day if they say we have a stand up call, what is the meaning of the stand up call? What is the meaning of sprint planning? What is the meaning of sprint review, sprint retrospective? um, Topics. So all these are like agile based topics, right? They're very, very, very detailed. Each one can go for 1 hour or 2 hours, but very, very important for you to understand, because it's very different from waterfall methodology. And all the Fortune 400 companies are following agile only. If you say that you don't know what is agile, they're not going to hire you. So you have to like tell them, I know about agile, I know about all the Scrum ceremonies, and I know how, like in 2 weeks, how a functionality can be developed, tested, and can be deployed to production. So I know that software lifecycle process. Okay, so agile topics can be a little bit overwhelming for the first time if you don't have any knowledge in IT, but you have to learn. It's very, very important that you learn agile topics. And also, very crucial is like how to write user stories. So I made a video on that in this too. So if you want, you can watch that. How to write user stories, how to write acceptance criteria, and how to write description. All that is very, very important. Okay, so next one is like from day 21, we are going to focus on domain skills. So, domain skills, like why domain skills are very, very important. So, from day 1 till day 20, it's all basic BA skills. Okay, you can get into any kind of project, an airlines project, or you can get into banking, retail, e-commerce. You can get into any kind of project, but if you don't have that proper domain skills, then you cannot survive in that project. For example, let's say you're working for some airlines, Qatar Airlines. Okay, and you are in Qatar. Qatar IT team is hiring BA, and you are like uh, applying, and you're getting into Qatar also, Qatar IT. But the problem is like you don't know about airlines at all. Then how are you going to like get the requirements right? So same thing for like compliance projects. Okay, so healthcare, banking, e-commerce, and Kushinder, you said you work for ERP function.
Yes, but I'm working as a functional consultant for
Okay,
for a ERP system. Yeah.
okay. So that is
So
also like
it's
pretty much.
basically
Mhm.
exactly it comes under finance and everything, accounts
Yeah,
and finance. Yeah.
finance, right? Yes, yeah. So that's what
Yeah.
I'm talking about. So when you get into a project that, did you have already knowledge about finance domain, or how is it?
No, I do not have the background knowledge, but I do support with functional people. Like if there's any like a gap in the system, I do address it with the developing team. Yeah.
Okay, did you find it very hard to learn about finance topics and everything initially?
No, it's kind of just I won't go through the whole process. First, like it was very difficult for me, but then I just got used to it, and I used to train with my seniors.
Mm-mm-mm. So they were
Because
very helpful.
we don't do all this, user stories and everything. We just put on some document and what is missing in ERP system, and we just transfer it to the developing team. That's it.
What's the
And most
timeline to go for go live and all? Do you have a time
we
frame?
don't use Scrum. We don't use like agile methodology. We just
Mm,
like, go through our own pace, and I'm mostly into UAT.
mm, mm.
Once after the developing team finish their work, I come into put into testing and I work on it. That's it.
Okay, got it.
Uh,
What
it's
about?
not a linear process, or no, we don't use any proper agile or
Mm,
any SPST methods. We just
mm.
go through our own phase. It's not like a MNC company. It's a startup. So yeah,
So that's why we are not following any process, right? So that's.
exactly. Yeah.
Mhm. And what about Javed? Are you working in any kind of like specific domains?
Yeah, hi Pratibha. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Okay, so
Yes, Pratibha.
mhm,
So I'm working with TCS.
mm,
Yeah, and recently I got a role as a business analyst, and
okay,
I saw your videos. So I'm very much interested to learn business analyst from you. So that's
okay,
why I'm following you, whatever your update. Yeah.
okay, okay. So you have, is there anything like specific domain topics that you're willing to learn?
Yes, yes. I'm willing to learn in. Already, I have experience in banking domain.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah. Because
Oh, okay. So next, that's what I'm talking about. Day one, day 22, right? It's about domain skills. So if you see, right, day 21, 22, 23, and 24, for these 4 days, I'm asking people to like study for like whatever domain they want to get into. So for example, it can be finance domain, it can be healthcare domain, it can be banking domain, or whatever they have. Like some people, they're attracted towards a particular domain, right? For some people, healthcare is very easy. For some, banking is very easy. For some, like e-commerce is easy. So whatever they like and whatever they want to get into, those kind of projects, um, they have to learn all this domain specific knowledge about that particular um, anything. It can be anything, any domain. But healthcare means US healthcare, like terminologies is going to be different. For Australia is going to be different. For UK it's going to be different. So that also you have to keep in mind. Banking means banking standards for Australia, for Europe, for US and India. So everything is going to be different, right? So also airlines, so Qatar or Emirates or even South, here we have Southwest Airlines. There are so many airlines out there. So when we are learning about domain specific, you also, you should, if someone can provide training on like country specific guidelines, that is also very good. Because my some of my candidates are from Qatar, so they say that their banking rules are a little bit different, and compliances also are very little bit different, tax regulations are different. So however you want to get trained or whatever materials you have, please study on those topics on day one. So day 22, 23, and 24, again it's about all these domain specific training. And day 25 and 26, how to test these scenarios. So you need to know what is SIT, what is UAT, how to do complete end-to-end testing. So you have to take case by case, take all small user stories, and you need to write down on test scenarios, how to create test plans, how to write test plan documents, how to write test scenarios, and what is a strategy for even to say that if a test case is pass or fail, and how to like actually create the test documents, right? You can create it in Excel, or it's going to be something automated, or whether it's going to be just only manual testing. How are you going to test this? So those kind of testing topics, I have given it for 2 days. Day 25 and testing, I mean 25 and 26, please learn about testing. And 27 is about deployment process. So now we have completed our testing, how to do deployment. And every company will, or every project, they are going to have their own deployment process, right? So you can be in TCS itself, but in TCS itself, like if they're going, there can be multiple teams, and every team is going to have their own deployment process. They're going to have their own the way of deployment, whether their coders can do it or not, or whether they're going for enterprise release dates. So it depends upon each project to project. So you need to know how deployment is happening, whether it's something like ticket based, or if it's any other separate team is going to do the deployment. What's the process of getting the sign off for deployment? What are the mandatory documents you need to have for deployment? So you have to spend at least 1 day to learn about this change control process and deployment process. And day 28 and 29 and 30, I have given um, for SQL. Okay, so even though it's a semi-technical role, but most companies, right, they're asking at least you need to know something about SQL, at least mid-level basics of SQL, and also one reporting system, so how to generate reports and all that. But that is not reports and all is not mandatory, but SQL, yes, you need to know how to write a query. They're going to ask you to write a query and all that. So this is like in 30 days, what are the topics that you need to focus to become a business analyst? And especially you're from non-IT, you have never worked in IT industry, and you don't know where to start and how to learn, please follow this like day by day, like a study plan and study guide, and then focus on the topics. Every day you have to do minimum 2 hours. Okay, so when I say how to become a business in 30 days, it's not 10 minutes. It's every day 2 hours. Please like focus on first elicitation techniques, and then you're going to focus on documentation topics, and then you're going to focus on diagrams. Then once all the core BA skills are completed, then you're going to focus on all the agile topics. Once all the agile topics are completed, then you're going to focus on domain specific topics. And then this can be done in a day, or it can take up to a week also, depends upon your skill set and whether you have knowledge or not, and how easily you're able to like grasp those new concepts, right? So this can be extended also. That's totally fine. Take your own time, but make sure that you learn one or two of these domains in detail. Then from um, day 25, 26 and all, it's about testing, deployment and SQL basics. So this is like I'm just giving you a guideline or maybe a guide on how to get started, right? Because in YouTube you have so many videos, and if you keep watching content and you do, and you want today you want to become a BA, tomorrow you want to become a Scrum Master, tomorrow then you want to be, another day you want to become something else, you're just wasting time. Okay, and wasting time, and you're constantly going from one thing and to another thing, and finally you're not becoming anything, right? So you need to have vision on what you want to become in 30 days, and this is the guide someone has provided. I'm going to follow this guide. And for some day 2 hours it's not possible, you may be not feeling well, or someday you are busy, someday it's holidays, someday that's totally fine. But what I'm trying to give you is like an idea on how to get started, and how you keep on progressing on each topics. If not in 30 days, you will complete this in 45 days or maybe 60 days, depends depending upon your skill set and like how much time you can allocate. But this will give you a uh, like a vision on like what you have to do if you're going to become a BA, and if especially if you are from non-IT means how to get started. Okay, Vishinder and Javed, Nandini, do you guys have any doubts on this study?
Yeah, Pratip. So, would you suggest any course for this, or like the open material is enough for preparing for all these preparing on all these topics?
See, course means I have private training, but that's like different. That is different. That's for candidates
Okay.
who are very serious and all. It's very expensive. It's $500, and one course is
Okay.
starting from September 16th. Okay, from next Monday. One course, one next batch, new batch is starting from September 16th. If you want to take something from a private coach, then you can go for that. But if you don't have money, and if you want to self study, and you have resources right in YouTube, so I'm just giving on a topic level. You can use any kind of resources. You can use books, you can watch YouTube videos, whatever materials
Okay.
if you want to use, you can use and study on your. This is for self study.
Okay.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like more on like you're studying on your own, and if you don't know what to do, I'm just giving you on a topic level what you should do. Or in my YouTube channel itself, I have covered all these topics, all these elicitation techniques, documentation, diagrams, agile topics, everything. I've made individual videos on all these topics. So if you want, you can do that also. Okay. So any doubts on this, like how to become a business analyst?